Hello students, good morning, welcome to the class. In our previous class, we have discussed with how blister copper is obtained, and we have seen the electrochemical principles involved in metallurgy. To apply the electrochemical principles, we learn with the example in our present class. It is electrolytic extraction of aluminum. So a very important concept for the board exam. A direct 3-mark question you can expect, and the concept is also having 1-mark weightage, so based on the key value points to understand the process. Both 1 and 3-mark questions we can expect, and this is a question which is repeated for many number of times from the past year paper analysis. Hence you can clearly focus and understand the concept. Already we know with the electrolytic principles what we have understood from the previous class. So delta G naught is equal to minus NF E naught by knowing the electrode potential of the cell. So if it is a positive value, then the overall delta G naught will come as a negative value, and the process is physical process. So reduction of the metal is possible. So that we have seen. Now we'll try to apply that with a simple process for the electrolytic extraction of aluminum. The actual process is called as Hall-Héroult process. The actual electrolytic extraction of aluminum is done through a process called Hall-Héroult process. So with a simple diagram, we'll try to understand the process. So before going to the diagram, we'll try to see what are the components. So how we can explain the supportive information to the diagram, we'll try to see now. Now, in the Hall-Héroult process, the concentrated alumina is taken. The concentrated bauxite ore, or refers to as alumina, is taken in the molten form. And to the molten form of the concentrated ore of the bauxite, so it is mixed with the two chemical substances, which is very important for the process to understand. It is Na3Al-F6, so which is commonly known as cryolite. So with CaF2, calcium fluoride. The two chemical substances are mixed with the molten concentrated ore of the alumina, that is bauxite ore, Na3Al-F6 and CaF2. So what is the role of the cryolite added in the reduction of aluminum in Hall-Héroult process? If we observe the significance of the addition of this chemical substance, so these chemical substances will lower the melting point of the melt. That is the molten mass what we have taken. So to the molten mass, so its melting point is going to decrease by the addition of these chemical substances. Now what is the advantage of decreasing melting point or lowering the melting point of the melt? Now if we observe the conductivity aspect, we can relate with the lowering of melting point. By lowering the melting point of the melt, these chemical substances increases the conductivity of the molten mass. If the conductivity increases, the movement of respective ions towards the electrodes increases during the application of external electric field. As a result, the role of addition of cryolite and calcium fluoride in Hall-Héroult process is, so they lower the melting point of the melt, and thereby they increases the conductivity of the molten mass. So this is how the required mixture is transferred into the vessel. Now we'll try to focus with the diagram to understand what happens in the electrolytic reduction now. As we have learnt, so in the electrolytic process, the passage of external electric field will causes the lysis of the chemical compound, and the formed cations and anions, based on their electrophoretic movement, they move towards the respective electrodes. And at the surface of cathode, reduction takes place, and at the surface of anode oxidation takes place. Hence, so we'll try to understand the diagram and we'll support what exactly the chemical change taking place as an oxidation reaction at anode and reduction reaction at cathode will support for the explanation. Now, so in understanding the Hall-Héroult process, the pictorial diagram to understand, you can observe the board. So it consists of a huge steel vessel. A steel vessel is taken. So to the vessel, inside to it, it is coated with the carbon substance. The graphite, the pure substance of the carbon, the major allotropic form of carbon. That graphite lining is done for that steel vessel. So this steel vessel, which inside coated with the graphite substance, it is connected as cathode. So it is connected as a cathode, that is negative terminal of the battery, where the cations move towards this cathode and gets reduced on the surface. Hence, so the negatively connected electrode, so that is a graphite lined electrode, is considered as cathode. Now, into the vessel, so there are electrodes placed, so which are again the graphite substances. So all these graphite rods, so which are connected with the help of a copper clamp, so to make the conductivity of the electrodes together. So all the graphite rods which are taken as anode material, so they are connected with a copper clamp and it is connected to the positive terminal of the battery. So this particular graphite anode, so where the oxidation takes place. Now this is the arrangement in the Hall-Héroult process. That is a huge steel tank coated with graphite will be connected as cathode, and in the vessel you are going to place the graphite electrodes. With the help of copper clamp they are connected as anode. Now under this arrangement you try to take the molten mass of the concentrated bauxite or alumina, that is Al2O3, mixed with Na3Al(F6) and calcium fluoride. So upon taking all the content, so you connect the device to the external battery source. Now what happens under the external electric field is the chemical lysis of the compound. So with the ore, if we consider the main aluminium ions and the oxide ions. So aluminium ions move towards the cathode, gains the electron on the surface and gets reduced as aluminium. That reduced aluminium as a molten mass, it is collected through this outlet. There is a small outlet you can observe. So at the bottom of the respective vessel. So where the molten aluminium is collected here. That is a reduced aluminium at cathode. So in the form of molten mass it is collected. And the oxide ions which are moved towards the respective anode. So they react with the carbon of the anode material and it gets oxidized to carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide. Since oxide ions will combine with the carbon of the anode, that means they reactive electrodes are this. So as they are reactive, the product obtained as a reaction is, so the oxidized product, carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide. Hence at cathode our desired element, that is aluminium, is extracted, and at the surface of anode, so we are going to see the liberation of carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide gas. Now we will support that information with the help of a simple electrode reaction. Now we can observe, we will try to learn with the chemical reaction. So supportive to the diagram, you need to write a simple process, so in a simple sentence that you can observe from the previous explanation. Now the actual important thing to support the process is that the electrode reactions. So try to observe carefully. So we'll consider first the reaction taking place at cathode. So we know that always reduction takes place at cathode and oxidation takes place at anode. All these we have learnt in the redox reactions of our first UC syllabus. You can recall now. So the cathode which is connected here is the graphite lined steel vessel. So where the aluminium ions present in the molten mass, so will move towards the cathode surface. So the valency of aluminium, it is +3. So for 1 mole of aluminum ions, 3 moles of the electrons are required to reduce. Hence, each mole of aluminum utilizes 3 moles of electron at the surface of cathode and undergoes reduction to aluminum. Now this is how the reduction reaction takes place at cathode. Aluminium ions of molten alumina under the external electric field will move towards the cathode and gets reduced as aluminium. So this is how aluminium is reduced, and which is our major concern in the extraction. Similarly, if we observe what happens near the anode, at anode oxidation reaction takes place. So that is, loss of electrons takes place at the anode. As a reactive product, carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide are liberated. Now if we observe what happens is that, so the carbon material of the anode which is taken in the process, so it is going to attract the oxide ions during the process of electrolytic reduction. So during which the oxide ions will combine with the carbon, and carbon undergoes oxidation, so with the loss of electron. If we observe, so each mole of carbon, if it is utilized with combination of 1 mole of oxide ion, so 2 electrons of carbon gets oxidized to form carbon monoxide. Hence in the product you can show it is carbon monoxide plus 2 electrons. Suppose if the coke is combining with, that is the carbon is combining with 2 moles of oxide ion, so then the 4 electron gets oxidized from each carbon to lead a product carbon dioxide with liberation of 4 electrons. By combining with 1 mole of oxide ion, so each carbon oxidized to give 2 electrons, whereas if it combines with 2 moles of oxide ion, each carbon gets oxidized to liberate 4 moles of electron. Hence carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide are the products liberated at anode. But when we are showing in the overall reaction, so we are showing the carbon dioxide as the major product at anode and the reduced aluminium at the respective cathode. Now if we observe the overall reaction, so I will write the overall reaction here. You can observe that it is Hall-Héroult process. So the ore of aluminium, what we have taken, it is alumina Al2O3. So with the carbon material taken in the process, so you can consider the major products as reduced aluminium and the major product of oxidized as carbon dioxide gas, it is CO2. Now the balancing part for the overall reaction, if you observe, so you can consider the odd number of oxygen to make it as even number to show in the formation, will take 2Al2O3. Now with the help of the oxygen and aluminium, you try to balance the products, then you balance the carbon, will be easy to remember. Now it is 2 into 2, it is 4 moles of aluminium gets reduced. Then it is 3 into 2, it is 6 moles of oxygen. Hence to give 6 moles, it is 3 moles of carbon dioxide is liberated. Now so carbon to balance on reactant side, so it is 3 moles on product, hence towards the reactant side it is 3 moles. So that the equation can be easily remembered. Now this is the net reaction or the overall reaction taking place, so in Hall-Héroult process during the reduction of aluminium. So each individual reactions are important, as well as the overall reaction is important. If you go through with the previous year papers, what it is sent to you as PDF material, so you will be understanding that in detail. So how the various ways of asking the question. So they may ask, explain the electrolytic reduction of aluminium by Hall-Héroult process. Write its schematic diagram or schematic representation for the process. Write the reactions taking place at cathode and anode, or write the overall reaction, what are the products liberated at anode, and write the schematic representation for the process. Like this, they may ask in different ways. But if you understand the process, the reactions are not complicated ones. You can easily remember. So focus on the products first, then the balancing part. So aluminium ions, by gaining 3 electrons, gets reduced as aluminium. So everyone knows what is the charge or valency of aluminium, plus 3. That number of moles of electrons are utilized to reduce 1 mole. Then, so carbon, so if it combines with 1 mole of oxide ion, so each carbon loses 2 electrons, hence it is carbon monoxide plus 2 electrons. If it combines with 2 oxide ion, each carbon oxidizes to give 4 electrons, hence carbon dioxide with 4 electrons are get oxidized. Don't interchange anything. So try to practice in a clear way with the fundamental definition of oxidation and reduction. But when you are writing or when you are learning the overall reaction, so relate the major product of anode as carbon dioxide. So that to balance, if you take alumina Al2O3, so with carbon, so the reduced product is aluminium, oxidized product is carbon dioxide. To balance the stoichiometric values, you can consider so odd number of oxygen to make it as even number to write the appropriate proportion. So you can take it as 2 moles of alumina. Then with the help of this, you balance remaining all the parts. Now 2 into 2, 4 moles of aluminium gets reduced, 3 into 2, 6 moles of oxygen as carbon dioxide. If you write 3 moles, 3 into 2, it will be 6. Now the carbon become unbalanced on both the sides. Now to balance the carbon, 3 moles of carbon on product side, you write 3 moles of carbon on reactant side, so that the equation is balanced. Now this is how the extraction of aluminium is done, so with the help of the Hall-Héroult process, which is electrolytic reduction or extraction of aluminium. Now we will continue with the next concept, extraction of copper from low grade ores and scraps. Already we have learnt extraction of copper as blister copper, so by using Ellingham diagram principles. Now we will try to understand the extraction of copper by using low grade ores and scrap, so which is with the help of process called hydrometallurgy. The previously used process for extraction of copper is by using pyrometallurgy, it is with heating process we have considered. Now by understanding with hydrometallurgical principles, we will try to understand. So about this in detail we are going to learn with electrochemical series of our electrochemistry unit of physical chemistry. When we are learning, we will try to discuss there. Now with respect to the hydrometallurgy, how exactly extraction of copper if it is considered, if it is there. So we are going to take the Cu plus 2 or copper ions, it is Cu plus also. So majority will try to take the major important ion Cu plus 2. The copper ion containing aqueous solution will be taken, and to this, by treating with either hydrogen or by using low grade ores such as scrap iron, either by using hydrogen or scrap iron, so we can able to reduce the copper for its extraction. So here the mentioning of scrap iron is important to remember. So scrap iron being cheaper in rate will be generally used for reduction. You can recall the previous concept also, the Hall-Héroult process. So other than the Hall-Héroult process, the normal reduction of aluminium, if you consider, zinc is more suitable reducing agent for reducing the aluminium there. So that means if you take scrap zinc and if you take the scrap iron, among the two, which is a most suitable agent for reducing the aluminium, if you take, zinc will be the most suitable. So from the electrochemical series, reactivity of the metal series if we take, so zinc can easily reduce the aluminium. But due to economical factors, scrap iron being cheaper, it is more frequently used. Now this question was asked in 2020 March exam for 1 mark from the unit general principles. So it is an in-text information. So in the NCERT book they have given in the in-text information as a question answer based topic. You can observe that. So that topic you can recall here to remember. Now either by using hydrogen or scrap iron, if you treat for the Cu+2 or copper ion containing aqueous solution, copper gets reduced, in turn hydrogen or iron gets oxidized. So in this way the extraction of copper can be done. So hence, so it is extraction of copper by using low grade ores or scrap iron. So by using acid or bacteria, the actual process is, it is leaching process. Leaching with either bacteria or acid solution. So we can able to obtain the copper in its extraction. Now if we observe the simple equation to understand the hydrometallurgy for the extraction of copper, that is Cu+2 ion containing solution, the aqueous solution. If you treat with hydrogen, what happens, we'll observe in the first equation, and in the next equation instead of hydrogen we'll observe scrap iron. Now if you treat with hydrogen, so hydrogen will donate its electron for the reduction of copper. Copper utilizes the respective electrons from the hydrogen and gets reduced as copper. For every 1 mole of copper, 2 ions are required, that is 2 electrons are required for its reduction. So 2 hydrogen atoms will donate its electron for the reduction. So hence hydrogen undergoes oxidation to become H+ ion. So each hydrogen donates 1 electron, hence 2H+. So from that the 2 electrons are gained by the Cu+2 to reduce as copper. Similarly, instead of hydrogen, if scrap iron is used, the same process takes place. Each mole of the iron will undergo oxidation to give 2 electrons, and the 2 electrons will utilize by the copper ions, Cu+2 ions, for its reduction. So thereby the copper gets reduced and iron gets oxidized to Fe+2 ions. So ferrous ions will be formed. So this is how the reduction of copper can be done in an alternate way through a process called hydrometallurgy. Now we'll discuss the last method of extraction. So it is oxidation reduction method of extraction of elements. So already we have discussed this in the leaching of the gold and silver. So the same concept. So we can consider the same leaching process here for oxidation reduction method of extraction of metal. Gold and silver can be taken as example, and we'll consider one more example here, so which is a non-metal, how it can be extracted by using oxidation reduction method. The first example we'll take it as extraction of gold and silver. So this is a repetition, already we have learned, so you can recollect from the leaching process. So it is leaching of gold or silver by using cyanide ion containing solution. So hence the process is called as cyanide process. So that already we discussed. So the same equations you can recall. Just to summarize what is happening in that, so we'll try to brief. So the equations you can recall from the leaching process. What happens? The metal, that is gold or silver, so if it is treated with cyanide ion, so it forms a metal cyanide complex. So it is as a result of that the metal gold or silver gets oxidized. So the first process will be oxidation by treating with the cyanide. So metal ions are oxidized, that is metal gets oxidized as metal ion, that is gold or silver. So oxidized metal ions by treating with the zinc as a displacement metal. From the metal cyanide complex, the metal ions gets reduced to metal and zinc gets oxidized and will replaces the metal in the complex. So this is how. So by oxidation reduction method, so gold or silver is extracted. We have seen there, so you can recall 4 moles of metal ion with 8 moles of cyanide ion. So in presence of 2H2O and oxygen gets oxidized to form, so 4MCN twice. So it is metal cyanide complex formed is M. So that we have seen, so whatever the metal cyanide complex which is formed, so then it is going to undergo a displacement reaction with zinc. You can recall all those equations. So metal cyanide complex, 2 moles of metal cyanide complex will undergo displacement reaction with 1 mole of the zinc to give, zinc will displaces there, metal gets reduced. So Zn, the complex form ZnCN 4 times minus 2. So along with the reduced metal. Hope you have recollected the equation. Yeah, I think it is clear. If you want, you can observe the equation again. It is 4 moles of metal, that is gold or silver, with 8 moles of cyanide ion in presence of aqueous medium will undergo oxidation to form the metal cyanide complex. That is so in the complex, the metal is actually present with M plus oxidation state, the oxidized metal. Then, so from the metal cyanide complex, so if 2 moles are treated with 1 mole of the zinc, it undergoes displacement reaction where the metal ions, M plus ions present, gets reduced as metal, and in the process zinc undergoes oxidation and displaces the metals from the complex, is Zn Cn 4 times minus 2. It's a repetition of the previous concept. So that is leaching of gold or silver. Already we learned it. So just to give the information, so I have explained in oxidation reduction terms as well as I have written the equation. You can observe that. So already explanation of this and all we consider from the leaching process. Hope this is clear now. So we'll try to consider the second example of oxidation reduction method. So here we have seen for metal. The second example we'll take it as non-metal. Again, a very important thing to remember. We'll observe that now. We'll observe the last example, extraction of chlorine as a non-metal, how oxidation reduction methods are used for its extraction. Now if we take the aqueous solution of brine solution, that is NaCl in water, so or we'll take the aqueous solution of NaOH, so from any of the thing you can relate, so how it is obtained. So we'll take the brine solution, it is NaCl solution in water. So you know Na plus ion, Cl minus ions are present. As it is for chlorine extraction, we'll take with NaCl now. I can think, so with the oxidation reduction, how exactly it happens. The chloride ions present from NaCl will take it as oxidized product of Cl2 gas. So in presence of aqueous medium, so we'll first consider what happens, then we'll balance the equation. So chloride ions, so in aqueous medium, so they undergo oxidation. So by liberating electrons or donating the electrons, so to form Cl2, so 2 moles of chloride ions will undergo oxidation to form 1 mole of chlorine gas. So in the process, so each H plus ion from 1 water molecule as a whole, 2 moles of water is utilized. 2 H plus ions from water gains the electrons oxidized by chlorine and gets liberated as hydrogen gas. Then, so in the process, the hydrolysis product of water, it is 2OH minus. That is from water, each H plus utilizes the electron donated by the chlorine in its oxidation to utilize for its reduction as hydrogen gas. Hence, chlorine gets oxidized to liberate as Cl2 gas at anode, and hydrogen gets the electron and gains the electron and undergoes reduction to form hydrogen gas. So as a cathode product, hydrogen gas will be liberated. So this we'll try to learn in detail with the products of electrolysis, so when we are discussing in electrochemistry unit. So this is in simple how chlorine is extracted through a method of oxidation reduction. So with this we have completed all the methods which are available from the NCERT syllabus for extraction of elements. So the major elements what we discussed from the syllabus is that it is extraction of iron, we learned with the blast furnace method. Then extraction of copper, that is blister copper, so from the copper metal composition. Then we have seen extraction of aluminium, so in this class we have seen that, so it is Hall-Héroult process. Then extraction of copper again through a process of hydrometallurgy we have observed. So extraction of zinc also we have seen in that case. Then the oxidation reduction method we have observed. Then the hydrometallurgy. So these are the important methods what we have seen from the syllabus point of view. Now we left with the last concept in the metallurgical process and the last concept of our unit. So it is purification of metals or refining of metals. Now what is purification or what is refining? So we know that whatever the process is used for extraction of metals or elements, in any process there may be certain impurities left with the extracted metal. Hence it is required to remove such impurities also to obtain the element or metal in its purest form. So such a process of removing all the impurities associated with the extracted metal is called as refining. So here there are various methods of refining or purification is available. So the techniques we need to choose based on the nature of the metal which has to be purified. So we are discussing few important methods of refining from the syllabus point of view. It is distillation method which is helpful for low boiling metals to purify. Liquefaction method which is useful for extraction, that is refining of the low melting point metals. Low boiling point metals to purify distillation, low melting point metals to purify it is liquefaction. And we have electrolytic method of reduction, so where the metal in its pure form is taken as cathode and the impure extracted metal is taken as anode. So during the process of electrolysis, from the impure metal the metal gets deposited onto cathode, so it is a reduction reaction. We will try to observe in detail with the method, electrolytic method of reduction, which is most suitable method for almost all the metals to purify. Then we have some special methods. So one is zone refining method, so which is more convenient for the semiconductors to purify, such as silicon, germanium. So we'll try to observe with examples, so through a simple process. Then one more method we have, it is vapor phase refining. So again a very important method for purification. So we have two important examples as methods under vapor phase technique. It is Mond's process for purification of nickel, then Van Arkel method for refining of zirconium or titanium, which are very important 2 mark questions, and the principle is very simple to understand the process. We'll try to learn that in our next class. And the last method of purification, this already we learnt in our first PUC, purification techniques of organic compounds. It is chromatographic techniques. So through adsorption chromatography, how the method, that is metals, can be purified, we'll try to observe. So these are the simple purification techniques what we have. It is distillation, liquefaction, electrolytic method of refining, zone refining, vapor phase refining in that Mond's process, Van Arkel method, and the last one, it is chromatographic techniques. So these are the things which is left. So we'll try to complete that in our next class.